Hello class. In this exercise, I will show you how to replace character's face. This effect is especially useful if you are making a monster's face. For example, here, let's see. Right? We can replace any actor's face to a monster's face. So you don't have to actually make up your character when you film. Okay, so let's see how this can be done. First, let's create a new project. And let's drop in our character footage and create a composition. Okay, so this effect is it works if your cameras keep on one perspective. For example, now my character is knocked in the front view, right? See, after 5 seconds to the end, the character doesn't move. The camera is still kind of move, but it doesn't change perspective. So the concept is you can export a still frame of this, and then you can import this still image into Photoshop and paint on the face, and then bring it back to replace the original face by using the camera tracking. Okay, so let's see, at about 5 seconds, see the character just stay at the same pose, and even though my character moves, even though my camera moves, but the perspective doesn't change. So I can put my timeline at 5 seconds. Okay, and then here I'm gonna go to composition and save frame. So you're gonna save this current frame, and you can choose a place to export. So here is fine. We can just export to location and file format as Photoshop. Okay, and there's nothing you have to change in the setting. By default, you're gonna export as a RGB with alpha channel. Okay, and then you can just click on render, and once it's done, it should show up here. Actually, I export it into the older folder I have. Okay, so it's going to export the still image, right? Photoshop. So you'll just have to open it in Photoshop. Here we go. So now we're going to create the face for the male character. So what we're going to do is I'm going to use the hit M key for square selection tool, which you can also find in the second tool menu. And then just make a selection, because this is not for a Photoshop editing class, so I'm going to move a little bit faster on this step. Okay, so make a selection and copy it, Command C copy, and then hold on Command Shift V, Command Shift V to paste. So what can happen is basically you're gonna paste the thing we copied at the exact same location as the original location. Okay, so now we have copied the face. You can see that. So now we have copied the face, right? So we can hide the bottom layer, and then we can create a folder with this image by hit Command G as a group. Okay, so basically we just put this layer in a group, and then you can go to Google and search whatever image you want on the character face. For example, here I just search for demon mouth, and you can see that you can find a lot of interesting footages. Okay, so here I already get a few for you, so you can just go to footage, and here I downloaded 2 images. Okay, so first let's drop in the demon picture 2. Let's just drop it onto the column, the icon here. So basically we just open it at a different tab, and then we can select a image we want to use. Maybe it's the center one, so we can just use the laser tool to select this one, hit Command C copy, go to the original frame, Command V to paste. So now here we go. Okay, so now we can change the blending of this layer to multiply. See how it looks. Okay, and if this is too big, you can hit Command T for free transformation, and then you can change the size of it, and hit return key to confirm the change. And then you can see that the color looks different. So our character the foliage, the contrast is a bit lower. You can see that the dark color, the black color is not pure black, it's kind of a dark brown. However, our foliage is too dark. So what we can do is select this image, just import it, hit Command M for curves. Okay, so here for the RGB channel, we're gonna boost up the dark color here, so it's gonna make the black color a little bit brighter, and then boost up the center area, so this part, so just to boost up a little bit like this. Okay, and then we're going to find another effect, maybe this one, so we can grab this one. Okay, Command C copy, and then Command V paste. And then here we can also make it a little bit smaller, like this. And we're going to change the blending mode to a multiply. Okay, just find the size you like. And we're gonna hit Command V again to boost up the dark color a little bit, boost up the whole color a little bit. Okay, maybe a little bit more. So this will make the color, the contrast similar to our original foliage. Okay, so here we go. So now, what about the mouth? So we're gonna select the demon picture 1 and just drop it into the original image here. Okay, and then we're going to make it a little bit smaller. And it's hard to see how it looks. So you can just change the blending mode to multiply. Okay, and make it even smaller, like this. I don't want his mouth to be super big, so which is fine, like this. And then so right now we're in multiply mode, right? So if you switch to normal mode, you can see that there's a huge kind of empty space here. So for this layer, for the mouth, I want you to get rid of this empty part. So you'll see why I'm doing this later. Okay, so I'm gonna explain you later. So for this layer, you can see that because we just drop this image in, it's a raster, is a kind of a smart object layer. So we need to rasterize it by right click and go to down below here, rasterize layer, layer, and then we should be able to get rid of the rest part. So you're gonna use the lasso tool and I'm gonna just draw around it and make a selection, and then reverse the selection by hit Command Shift I, and delete. Okay, so I just reverse the selection. Okay, now we can change the blending mode to multiply. See, now it works. Okay, so we're gonna refine this color a little bit by select the bottom layer, this layer, and create a new layer on top of it. So basically this layer is between of this scar, the mouth, and the original foliage. Okay, so this one, you can rename it or not. So here I'll just say color. So I know this is just for color. And then for the color, I'm going to click on pick up color. And I'm going to pick up a red color, maybe like this, red. And then use the brush tool, which hit B for brush, which is here. And then make the brush size a little bit bigger. Use the right square bracket tool, to increase the size. And then we can just pin some red color around this area. Okay, and here, let's change the blending mode to multiply so you can see the differences, right? So some red color, and then some along the scar to make the scar looks different. So basically we just want to randomize it and draw some shadow based on the shape of the character. And here supposed to be a little bit darker. Here maybe a little bit darker. Okay, so this will make it looks a little bit more realistic. Okay, so what about the eyes? So here we have created a folder, right? This folder. So what I want you to do is I want you to find the mouth layer, which is this one, the mouth. I want you to rename it by mouth. Okay, and I want you to move it out of this group. So this whole group will be the face. So you can rename it as a face, and this layer will be the mouth. The reason why I remove it out of this group is because later on I'm going to animate this mouth separately. So I want to keep it as separate layer. Now let's create something for the eye. So we're going to go back to the face group and select the top layer, create a new layer, and rename this one as eyeball. Okay, and then we're going to pick up the white color on the eyeball, and we're going to paint on top of it to cover the whole thing. Okay, just pick up similar color and paint, and here as well. So we're gonna paint just to cover the eyeball. Okay, and then here you can select a brighter color, pick up a brighter color, and kind of paint some volume there. So you can drop down the flow. By doing that, you are just drawing a portion of the value there. Okay, so now this is the eye. I'll just make it rough for demonstration purpose. I just do it quick. And then I'm gonna close this face group and create a new layer outside of this group. And for this layer, I'm gonna rename it as eye or pupil. The reason why I'm creating a separate layer is because later on I'm gonna also animate this pupil layer. Okay, so you'll see it in a second. So now let's draw the pupil. So we can simply show the original layer and pick up the original pupil's color, and then pick up this color. And then we can hide the original layer, and on the pupil layer, we can start to draw. And I want to make the pupil, I want to make the pupil kind of a small, like this. Okay, so now this is the pupil. And then you can pick up a white color, white spot, and draw some highlights on the pupil. So this is just a fine detail. Now as we have created the pupil, the mouth, and the face, so what I want you to do is I want you to select the face and create a mask. Okay, and with the mask we're going to kind of mask out the boundary of this face layer. So we're going to use the brush tool and hit D to reset the color. Okay, and then you can hit X to switch the black and white color. So now basically for our front color, we're going to use the black color, pure black color. Okay, and you can increase the brush size and make sure you are select the mask, and then just draw with the black color. Okay, so we're gonna mask out the edges, and as you get closer to the face, I want you to decrease the brush. Okay, so we can basically add a softened edge there. Okay, so here I'll just speed up the process. As I'm going closer to the face, basically I make a smaller brush. Okay, so something like that. Now we are good to export our layers. Okay, so hide the pupil, hide the mouth, and select the face group, and go to File and Export. and export as. And here for the file format, we're gonna use a PNG and keep the default setting. And here we can click on export. So here we're gonna say we can say face still 1. Okay, save. And then we're gonna follow this exact same procedure. So for the mouth, you're going to also go to file and export as, and export. So this is gonna still 2, and pupil is gonna be still 3. So we're gonna export in PNG and face still 3. All right, now we can import the 3 images into After Effects. And here we're gonna select the face still image 1, and we're gonna create a separate conversation for it. Okay, and for this conversation, make sure it has enough time for you to do the conversation. So here I would right click on the face still conversation I just created, go to conversation setting, and I'm gonna manually put 8 seconds here. So see, by default, on my case, it was 4 seconds, which is not enough. So I changed it to 8 seconds, and also make sure extend the image to 8 seconds if it was shorter than this. And then let's bring in still 2, still 3 here. Okay, so still 2 is the mouth. Now you can see the reason why I want you to cut the boundary of the mouth. See here, for the mouth, we're gonna change the blending mode to multiply. Okay, so if we have a plenty of white edge and the blending mode will not work, it will the white color gonna spill out of the face. So that's why I want you to cut it. Okay, so for the mouth, now we want to create some animation with it. So we're going to use the puppet pin tool. Okay, make sure you select the image of the mouth, and then here we're going to create points along with the mouth. Maybe it goes this way. So somebody just create some points around the mouth, and you're gonna see the effect in a second. Okay, so after the points, and here we're gonna switch back to selection tool. Okay, and then on this layer, go to the effect, go to the puppet and mesh, and then deform, and you should find all of the points you have created. So I want you to select all of them and open them. So now you should see that. So basically we created a keyframe on the initial position. Okay, so here I want you to go to 10 frame. I want you to go to 10 frame. Okay, and click a empty spot to deselect, and then you can start to kind of change the position of each point. See here, you can click to select the first point and move it this way, move this point this way, move this point up, move this point up, and this one down, this one down, this one up. See, as long as you move these points, you're gonna add a second keyframe. Okay, so now you get the idea. So we move this up, move this up, this up, this down. Okay, so this simply going to create this action. See, the mouth is moving. Okay, so now you get the idea. So at 20 frame, what I want you to do is, I want you to select all of the keyframes you created. The first keyframe, select all of them, and then hit Command C, copy, and at 20 frame, Command V to paste. Okay, so now you should have a whole cycle, right? And then at 20 frames, see, at 20 frames, I want you to select all of the keyframe again, and Command C, copy, Command V to paste. So this is going to copy this whole cycle and paste it, since the third keyframe is the same as the first keyframe. So this is going to keep the cycle going. So now I'm going to go to here and copy everything, actually, from the top. copy everything and paste. See, now basically we are filming this animation quickly. Basically, we'll just repeat this whole animation and let it loop. Okay, so at the point you should fulfill the whole 8 seconds. So now let me just test play and see how it looks. Okay, fair enough. If I have more time, I can create more realistic mouth movement and even let him to talk. So now what about the pupil? So now let's work on the pupil. Okay, so for the pupil, you can keyframe position, but you know, animator is very lazy. So here's what I'm gonna do. So I want you to go to this random position script under the footage folder, open it, and copy this whole thing. So basically what this says is you're going to randomize is X, position X and position Y. You can change the value here if you want it to be more intense, like if you want more movements. Okay, so here I just put the 10 and let's see how it looks. So select this pupil layer, hit PK for position, hold down Option key and left mouse button to click. So this is going to open as a script box. So now you're going to hit Command V to paste this whole script here. And then just click an empty spot to deselect. So now if I play, see? The eye gonna jump. So sometimes it's jump out of the frame. So here maybe you can lower it down to about 8. So this is going to make it less jumpy. Okay, looks good. So I think I'll just keep it. Okay, so now let's go back to the couple conversation. So now our question is, how are we able to bring that face back to here? So remember, we have made a screenshot at 5 seconds, right? So get your time to 5 seconds. So here what I want you to do is I want you to right click and create a new object and rename this new object as track position. Okay, and then select your couple layer, select the video, the couple, and then go to tool menu animation and track motion. So this is the difference in the track camera. So track motion, and then zoom in. So I already explained the concept of this in one of the exercises before. Okay, so basically you can just pick up the points that has a high contrast. For example, I will pick up this point because there's a highlights on the pupil, and here's very dark, and here's a kind of a bright, and here has some pattern. So you can just put your cursor inside the small box and move it here, and then aim to that point. So this is the tracking point, and this is the search point. So at any time, you're gonna search those pixels inside this big box and keep the track in the small box. So that's the concept. Okay, so now you can go to the tracker and under analyze, and you can click on the play button. So you're gonna analyze the frames. See, because our footage is very good, so you just keep tracking, right? So now it's done. And then we can click on edit target, and you're going to pick out the track position we just created and click on OK. And we want to transfer the tracking data to the track law we just created. Okay, so now just click on apply and apply dimension to X and Y and click on OK. So basically, this is going to transfer the tracking data, see, from this video to our track position. If you select the track position, hit PK for position. See, now this node object has the keyframes and it is following the pupil. See that? Okay, so now I want you to get your time to back to 5 seconds and bring in the face still to here, and let it start at 5 seconds. So here you can just zoom in closer and bring your clip to 5 seconds. Okay, and then at 5 seconds, and then you can go to the parent and link tab and just let the face conversation to parent to the track position. So basically the face is gonna follow track position. This is how it looks. So now if I play, you're gonna keep track with the node object and the animation we have created gonna stay on the character's face. Okay, and at the beginning part, you can also create some opacity keyframe. See here, you can hit TK for opacity and bring it to 0 in the beginning, and add a keyframe, and then about 3 to 4 frames later, and then you change it to 100, and you're gonna add a second keyframe. So this is how it looks. Okay, it's gonna fade in. Alright, so this is how you will be able to replace the face of the character. And again, keep in mind, to do this, you need to make sure the rest part of your clip, the perspective of the character doesn't change. So for example, now I'm having a front face, right? If my character's face kind of turned to the side, and this is not working because, you know, my painting is from the front view. And if the bottom layer is the side view, it's gonna not working.